What's up, everybody? It's your favorite luxuries, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Flame Toys Optimus Prime. This is the figure, not the model kit. It's also on loan to me from Robert D. Flames Toys is a company that I love, and their products are something that I adore, especially their figures. Their model kits I adore when Sean Diesel paints them, but their figures I adore generally. However, they are expensive, so I'm picky and choosy, and this design of Optimus is just not my favorite, so I passed on it. Luckily, I have a friend that didn't, and as a result, we get to look at it, but first, we get to look at accessories. He comes with a wide array of hands, so not only the 2 fist hands that we saw in the opening footage, but 3 sets of holding hands left and right, as well as pointing hands left and right, and 2 sets of posing hands left and right. All he needs are relaxed hands, and this is the exact accoutrement of hands that I look for in a set. Really well done. We'll talk about deco when we get to the figure. Now, we know Prime is supposed to come with a battle axe, and this one's no exception. However, this one is probably, definitely the most wicked battle axe we've ever seen. So it comes in 3 pieces so that you can insert the hands to hold it and so forth. We'll show that in the final thoughts. However, or we'll show it real quick and then we'll show it kind of it posed in the final thoughts. However, painted beautifully, gunmetal, kind of a darker gold, and then a silver for the lower hilt, and then this feels like a metal piece to me, like a die-cast piece, and this is painted as well. And then this piece has all sorts of deco, gunmetal, 2 shades of gunmetal, and then the orange translucent. This orange translucent piece can come off if you so prefer. I'm not going to take it off, but it can come off. Then we have the same gold, 2 shades of gold, the like mufflers, you know, or exhaust on the axe. Like, that is pretty awesome. And you can use any style of holding hand that you want to kind of slip in and keep it in spot, or in place rather. It's kind of up to you and what works best for you. What I'm trying to show here is there's some versatility, so if you wanted to have the kind of ability to easily switch out weapons, you can probably do so depending on your holding hand choices. But if one axe is not enough for you, he comes with 2 smaller ones. I love this look, you know, of like the lightning kind of moving through the axe, like it's breaking up the kind of materials of the axe with the 2 shades of red, the 2 shades of silver, 3 shades rather, and then the translucent blue, the golds, like they're just decoed beautifully. And he'll hold those as well. He comes with his jetpack. The wings do articulate on C-clips. Forward and back they flap, and then they also spin, so it acts like a universal. We have a spring-loaded thing here for a weapon that I'll show you in a bit. These are basically universals as well. Well, maybe not. I thought they rotated in there. Let me check this one. Oh yeah, they do. This one's just a little stuck, and I'm not forcing it. And then it's painted the same way that the rest of it is painted, which is to say beautifully. But silvers, golds, 2 shades of red, etc., etc. And I will show you more when we get to the figure. But using these 2 pegs here, they will insert into his back, and that will keep it in place. He comes with a big old sword. Purple metallic down here, and then silver. We have the blue, purple, and red paint up there. There's 2 shades of silver along the blade, as well as the Autobot symbol. If you watch here, the Matrix styled and sculpted broadsword element of it will flip and sort of become illuminated as you push this bit up, and it also separates the crossguard. You can also move the crossguard and bring the pieces up. Both worked fine enough. He'll hold that just fine. It can also be stored on the backpack, on the jetpack rather, by using these kind of C-clips around the portion of the blade. And finally, it can also be stored sort of in this sword in the stone styled piece here, which is painted and carved with the, or sculpted rather, with the Autobot symbol. And it's painted that style of silver, and then it will hold the weight of this large sword, which is kind of impressive as a display option. He comes with his blaster, of course, with all sorts of deco. Once again, multiple shades of silver. We have this dark blue here as well. We have a little bit of gold accents and such. And, I mean, just beautifully done. And he'll hold that just fine. Now, you can also rotate this around, collapse the stock, collapse all this, collapse that. That little gold piece pops out. Take your backpack, or your jetpack rather, and extend this piece down. And then take your gun and you can slip it in, I had it backwards I guess, through here, and he'll store it in the jetpack. Nice feature. He also comes with 2 smaller swords. We have the translucent orange, we have the 2 different shades of silver, 3 different as per usual. just, you know, more well done stuff. I'm not crazy about the translucent sort of, you know, it's just not my bag, but it's fine. I'm not sure if it looks the best when all these other accessories are so beautifully painted, but that's, you know, personal preference. And he'll hold those just fine. You can also rotate this peg out and use that hole, and then he can have his sword sort of pegged in and sheathed, for lack of a better term, on his hips. He comes with 2 swap out faces if you don't want a faceplate for one, or if you want a cracked faceplate for the other. They both have these silver chins and silver eyes. I don't think the silver eyes were a great choice here, but that's what they have. He comes with the display base, same as usual. The 2-prong system can go into either one of these, and then this will articulate here for support. This will articulate up. You can then lock it into position using this tab, and then you have this feature up here which will split apart, and you can use the ratchet in terms of where you want the figure, and then this pegs into the figure by using this little notch system here into his back side. Probably not the most comfortable for him, but will look good on your shelf. Gimmick wise, there's all sorts of lights, including 2 buttons here in the back which light up the chest. One lights up sort of the wider array. Let me see if I can turn this light off and give you a better view. So that lights up the eyes and a little bit of the chest, and then the other one really lights up the chest. And it does give the effect of like the Matrix, like powering the bot. It does look wicked. You then have the knee plates. You can pull them out. They have to go at pretty much a 45-degree angle from the figure. And then pull your safety tab here and turn on, and that'll light up your knee pads. And then you can insert them. And I'll show you what he looks like all lit up. And there it is, all lit up. And it is pretty impressive, to be honest. And another nice thing about it is most of it is accessible from the outside, so you don't have to like take pieces off. The only reason why we had to take it off for the knee pads was to remove that strip. You could probably get a little tool and flip the switch from the inside now. And that's nice and convenient, whereas a lot of theirs in the past, you've kind of had to take off, turn on, put back on, etc. So another advancement. The only other gimmick worth talking about is you can remove the side armor plates from his legs if you prefer that look. I certainly do not, but if you do, you're in luck. And let's look at the figure. All right, so the head, unfortunately, without any light up options, does have the dead eye look. The face is painted, the face plate is painted, the helmet is painted, all of the accents are painted. That's 2 shades of blue, not only for differentiation, but also gives a natural shade. It looks awesome. The sculpt is beautiful as well, and there's a silver chin strap at the bottom. I will be honest and say when I first saw it, it is a little bit off-putting. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I thought that these were the eyes at first, just because I think just because we looked at the power baser for the Fans Hobby one recently, and those eyes seem low, and I was like, oh man, they've done it again. But it's not, they're up higher, and that was a breath of fresh air to see. The neck is completely painted silver or gunmetal gray, so that's awesome. Double ball peg, I think, from the head into the neck, and then from the neck into the chest. As a result, you get the head back to there, forward to there, side to side, confused dog look. Absolutely not one problem in terms of articulation. 3 ball pegs have a tendency to do that. We have gunmetal here, we have silver, we have the dark red, the light red, the gold, and the gray, as well as some silver at the front. Look, I mentioned this on the Star Saber. They did it here as well. A bright red here, a darker red here gives a natural shadow. It's like, imagine cell shading if it were real, kind of, but it's still sort of playing with the idea of your perspective. Wonderfully, wonderfully, wonderfully done. For the chest area, we have the translucent blue with the stuff underneath, of course. We have the silver and gold. And then we have this color down here, which is like some sort of blue-gray, more silver, the red, painted to the nines per usual. We have these like kind of light bluish accents here with a metallic color, and then the gunmetal there on the side. We have, it feels like a double hinge inside from the chest into the abdomen. And then we have a ball peg from the abdomen into the pelvis. Using both, you get it over a fair bit. And back. And it is like just elegantly done. I don't want to push it beyond its limits because I certainly don't want to cause any harm. But it's just like there's no room for error. It's so, the engineering of it is just so perfectly put together. I mean, it honestly is. Like, you can't see a gap there. It doesn't look like there should be engineering there, but there is. Beautiful. All right, so the shoulders, we have a hinge from the chest into the shoulder. That gets you up to here. Then there's a separate hinge, basically a universal joint inside the shoulder box, which gets the arm up to here for a pretty phenomenal range. Accent-wise, we have the reds, of course, the Autobot symbol is sculpted and painted, silver paint, different tones of red, etc. We have the silver and gunmetal as well as the gold, all of which is done beautiful. We also get a swivel for a 360 movement here, and that same hinge is on a butterfly, which will get you across the chest. It's not the craziest range in the world, but I think it is significant enough. Bicep swivel, 2 shades of red, 2 shades of silver. Once again, more silver die cast joint for the elbow, which is double jointed and gets you pretty much the full run. We have the 2 shades of red, the silver, the gunmetal, and then the wrist, which is a ball peg. So you'll be able to get up, down, side to side, plus the swivel at the hand. Hand is 2 shades of blue as well. I think it would have been nice to paint the joints silver in between the knuckles. I think that would have made them pop a bit more. Just my own little criticism there, but that's it so far. All right, let's continue down. So we have the hip skirts. They're on ball pegs. This whole piece moves about. We'll try to get it up and out of the way. Robert asked me nicely not to break it, so we're going to try to do him a solid. This hinges out. Everything else is on a ball peg that moves out of the way for this universal joint, which gets the leg all the way up to there. Back to there for the full Monty. And pretty much the full Van Damme as well, so no issues, and beautifully done. We have paint deco all over the place. Now I had to cut this in because I almost missed it. These will also hinge up, and this whole piece will move to allow for some articulation naturally. So it's on a spring-loaded system here, and it will move for that. And then these pieces will move up and out of the way as well. So I didn't want to miss anything. All right, moving down the figure, we have the deco inside of the hips. We have a thigh swivel at a cut joint. It's not really a cut joint, like this sits inside of it, but it's not the most beautiful joint I've seen from them. We do have the silver and gunmetal paints throughout. All of that works well. We have the knee. So, they tend to do this sort of engineering. It's beautiful. So we have this cover piece here. We have the knee itself. All of this will tuck back. The tires fold inside of the calf, and then the knee naturally covers down upon the knee cap, like the knee guard naturally covers down upon the knee cap. All of them work together for an absolutely beautiful ensemble. This is the type of elegance that we expect from this company, and they don't disappoint. All right, so then we have the translucent here. We have the silver, gunmetal, gold, all of the effects and stuff, the ankles, silver, gunmetal, all throughout. Beautiful sculpt work, kind of business as usual. Ankle, we got a hinge up. Then we have a toe tilt as well that gets you a 90-degree flap. That works fine. A hinge down for a slight ankle tilt down. Wish we had a little bit more, but with the toe tilt, it'll probably help work together for that. And then we have a rocker, and this flap will actually move out of the way to allow for it. So all in all, another amazing effort. Couple small bumps along the road, but they're relatively inconsequential, honestly. And there he is from the back. Size comparison wise, there he is with Magic Square Prime and a Masterpiece car. I don't know what you guys would like to see these fellas with. I'll put him next to a Marble Legend as well, just because I still have him out. So yeah, about on par with their figures. Final thoughts wise, let's start with the negatives. So the figures are getting more complicated. They're getting more intricate. Each release, they're pushing the boundaries of what they're capable of doing. With that is coming some growing pains. Some of the small tolerances aren't quite as rock solid as they have been in previous releases. Some of the joints are a little tighter than they have been in previous releases. It's a nitpick, but it's only worth mentioning because it's so close to perfection. The fact that they're making advancements and moving forward is the bonus here. It is what you should be chasing. Every company, but not every company does. However, it is coming at a price. Not just literally, but figuratively. There are some things here that don't quite seem as ironed out as previous releases. And that's honestly my only criticism here. More positives than you can shake a stick at. It's one of the most beautifully painted things I've ever seen. It's one of the most elegantly engineered things I've ever seen. I didn't even get to point all of it out because I just forgot some of it, but there's pistons in the forearms that move as the wrist moves. Add that into the kind of normal stuff that we expect with the knees and thighs, including the tires tucking in, which almost is representative or at least suggestive thereof the transformation process of Prime to truck. How pieces get out of the way of other pieces, the light up features, all of the accessories, the brilliant selection of hands. My kid could pose this thing and make it look wicked. It's almost impossible to fail with it. The materials are super top notch. It has a strong presence and it's painted and sculpted and using brilliant materials the entire way through. So of course it's a strong recommend from me. However, even though I think this thing is damn near perfect, I won't be picking it up because in order for me to invest this sort of money into something, I have to love the actual design. And the design here I'm not crazy about. If this would have been the model kit and the model kit design would have been this figure, it would have been an easy purchase for me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.